Peace. This is Wise for Wise Words Media. Little weekend recap on some of the biggest stories in sports. You had first starting off the weekend on Friday night, Golden State versus Dallas. And as you've seen in my preview video regarding that series, nothing to watch here. Like I said it before the series even started. Go back and check the video. It's not going to be much of a series. I said I'll be surprised, super surprised, if it went 6-7 games. Yeah, that series is pretty much what Golden State does, man. They back. Golden State is back. They've been taking names and starting to kick A's. Based on, so the sports world, NBA world started laughing at them. Once they lost KD, people started to laugh at them and point fingers and just chuckle, thinking that Kevin Durant was the key to the Golden State success. Not the case at all. Not the case at all. Kevin Durant, all he did was come along for the ride. Kevin Durant, all he did was come along for the ride, because those guys, that core they had between Steph, Clay, and Draymond, that three right there is special. They complement each other, and they set the foundation. They put the wheels in motion, and all Kevin Durant did was just hop in the vehicle. Hopped in the V, on his way to a couple championships. But what has he done before that? What has he done after that? Not much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, spectacular scorer. One of the greatest scorers in NBA history. Offensive machine. But, it's what it is. Like, the man, he can't do it by himself. Man, he can't even do it with the great all-time scorer and Kyrie Irving. He can't even do it with him. You see how that Boston series turned out. There's no excuses. Ain't no hamstring James Harden out there. Ain't no Kyrie injury. These guys was in full strength, and KD couldn't even win one game against Boston. Got swept. Not one game. So yeah, he was nothing more but, passenger in that road to the championships for back-to-back years. But Golden State is special. They're a special unit. Greatest shooting backcourt in history. The greatest shooter in NBA history in Steph Curry. And they continue to excel. They're one win away from punching a ticket to the finals. And that's pretty much what I expected. And in terms of what I expected, you could go to the other side of the spectrum, looking at Boston and Miami. Yeah, that series too was playing out how I expected. It was gonna be a dogfight based on the matchups. Styles make fights, and that matchup right there between those two teams, they're both very similar in style. Blue collar, physical guys, great wing players, and they got guys that create problems in the paint for opposing offenses. So that one's going practically the way I expected it. It's going to be a dogfight. That one is going to be no less than 6 games. That's going to be a back and forth. I expect it to go 7. Would even be surprised if it's just 6. That series is going to go back and forth. So Miami over the weekend regained home court advantage by stealing one in Boston. And Miami continues to show and prove why they are the number 1 seed. They have one of the most slept on number 1 seeds of all time that I can remember. Usually number 1 seeds hold that prestige where people look at them with a certain degree of respect and say, man, you want to avoid that team. But a lot of teams didn't even really look at Miami like a threat. So that's one team right there that, if they remain healthy and all the pieces click, they can give a lot of trouble to whoever they play. And you're seeing it with Boston. And yeah, it's gonna be a long, hard-fought series. But I see ultimately Boston coming back to win that one. To set up Boston versus Golden State for the championship. Moving on to the world of boxing. The Mexican Monster, as Mike Tyson calls him, David Benavidez. Young, 24 years old, tall, 6 foot, long arms, nice reach, good jab, and throws punches and bunches. When he lands that one that lands flush, and he got you, oh, whoa. When he sees your eyes glimpse, when he can see the stars in your eyes, oh, he goes for the kill. That man is an assassin. He goes for the kill. And we saw it in the very game. David Lemieux, hard puncher. He comes to fight. David Lemieux holds nothing back. He doesn't come, he gives his all in the ring. He's one of them guys that you like to watch fight. And on any given night, he could pull an upset. Because he's a guy, even in Gennady Golovkin, when Triple G was in his peak, Triple G was knocking everything out in sight. We talking like that 2013 to like 16 Triple G was knocking everything out. And he was avoided. And he's he's one of them guys that knows how to cut the ring. He knows how to put accurate, devastating, punishing combinations together. And when he fought Lemieux, you didn't see the killer Golovkin. You didn't see the guy that goes to seek and destroy and cuts the ring off. And you saw a boxing Golovkin, a guy that utilized his jab. He wasn't trying to throw power punches and mix it up early in the fight. He was relying a lot on his jab, which was different. So that's just a testimony of the respect that Golovkin had for David Lemieux. So that same David Lemieux throughout the years has been, a very game opponent. And he came in there, but David Benavidez said, I already know there's nothing really to figure out about David Lemieux. David Lemieux comes there to brawl, he comes there to punch, and he's going to come straight forward and punch. And I know I'm going to expect that. I know that's what he's going to do. So I'm just going to hit him with counters and initiate my offense. And the fight played out like that. He almost had a first round knockout, catching Lemieux with a devastating left hook. It was a catch and shoot if I'm not mistaken. Gotta look at the replay, but I know it was a devastating left hook that almost took Lemieux out of there in the first round. And after that, the whole fight was Benavidez. And we saw again why Canelo has avoided this man. Why Canelo holds all 4 belts in that same division with David Benavidez, yet he's never fought David Benavidez, and at this point doesn't seem like he has any intentions to fight David Benavidez, because Benavidez is a guy that creates a lot of challenges for Canelo based on his style. He's just like Bivol, he's tall and uses his jab. Canelo is not really good at dealing with jabs or guys that use the jab as a table setter for what they're going to feed you next. And that's Benavidez. Benavidez is that. Benavidez throws punches and bunches. He throws a lot of punches. He's a very busy guy. He's young. And yeah, it's a matchup problem for Canelo, and we've seen that as the reason why Canelo practically avoided him when PBC was going to give him a whole lot more money than DAZN ended up giving him. But he avoided, he declined the money, avoided the fight, and he ended up taking the Bivol fight, which we all know how that turned out. So yeah, Yankees, switch it to little baseball. Yankees drop a couple games to the White Sox. Some controversy there, Josh Donaldson. It's a guy that the Yankees brought in during the offseason, and he came with a little colored background. There was some stuff, colorful background. He's known to be a little problematic, but the Yankees took a chance in him, and, we're seeing more of the same. It was very boneheaded of him to make that remark, You see that it wasn't well received when he first said it. And, Tim Anderson let it go. But when you keep, digging with something that is ill intent and doesn't really have any space in this world, when you're digging, when you're using something that has racial connotations to it, in order to dig and try to get into a player's head or try to be player, you don't do that. There's certain things you have to stick away from. So yeah, I'm a Yankees fan, as you can see, through and through. Wear my blue. They're in the good and the bad with the Yankees. I'm in my Yankee blue. But yeah, this one was bad, and it was disgusting hearing the fans with those chants. Jackie and all. Yeah, very, very disgusting. But yeah, Yankees are still hottest team in baseball, having a great season, and I'm loving that Aaron Judge is putting that pressure right back on the Yankees ball club by, contract year from the gate. He said, I'm not going to talk about my contract situation until the end of the season. End of the season is when we can sit back down and talk. For now, you want to talk to me about baseball. That's what I'm talking about. And he's been out there like a man on a mission. Like, either y'all gonna pay me what I want or somebody else is, but I'm out here to get paid because I'm a franchise caliber player. I'm a franchise player, and that's exactly what Aaron Judge is. So I look forward to the Yankees bouncing back against the Orioles tonight. Should be a nice bounce back, getting groove, just with the doctor order type remedy for them, and continue to dominate. And speaking of domination, the Mets are doing their thing on the other side of town too. Got to give credit where credit is due. They're going through a little scare with their one of their ace pitchers, Max Scherzer. And Scherzer, to be out for that length of time that was given can be something that can become psychological for a team. How do you respond? And the Mets responded by winning a couple games this weekend, and they're looking good too. So look like we're on our way to a Subway Series for the Yankees to dominate once again. So that's me on my C on this weekend. Got another great night of NBA basketball ahead of us. Let's see what Boston and Miami do. Let's see if Boston can even things up. And we'll just have to stay tuned and see what's next in the sports world. All right? This is Wise for Wise Words Media. Peace.